Welcome back to Switch to Linux. It is Friday and it is time for the news. I hope you enjoyed the cat being excessively cute. I gotta hang that thing up there. That'd be really fun. But anyway, well, greetings everybody. Welcome back to yet the beginning of another fun weekend. Pseudo Linux, greetings, sir. Switching to Ubuntu right now, hanging out with my cousins. Alright, man. Hey, have fun with your cousins, dude. And, hey, Kubuntu. Hey, I'm running Linux Mint KDE back there. Sad it's gonna go away, man. It's gonna go away. But that's okay. We'll deal with it. Alright, and Technobismo, switching to KDE Neon. Yeah, I mean, KDE Neon, the thing is a testing ground for 4K applications. So keep that in mind, that it's not necessarily optimized for a good KDE, like a full-blown work production system, but it is good. So I don't think you'll have any challenges or anything, but if you want something more stability focused, etc., then go Kubuntu. It would probably be a little bit better on the Debian branch. Of course, I have a Debian KDE, but it gives me a few challenges. Kitty's not done with his screen time yet. Are you gonna ask for extra temptations for all this extra camera time? Are you? I think he's trying to get a pay raise. I don't know. Greetings, Carbon Programmer. I still have no idea what you're saying, so hi. And oi, no oi, AOI, I don't know. Yes, and thank you, Pseudo Linux, for the 5K. I did cross 5K today. I might do a special 5K episode tomorrow instead of a tinfoil hat time. I just don't know yet. I haven't thought much about it, and I'm probably about 4 or 5 hours behind on work for the week, so I might actually have to go and spend a little bit more time doing work tomorrow. So I don't know, we'll see. Bitblocks, how are you, sir? And JJ Game, how are you? Let's see, I'll watch a little bit while the ISO burns. There you go. Chateur, greetings, how are you? What, Kitty? Kitty's just up here like, he's just like chilling. He's just like, yeah, we're having fun. What, you want that? You want that? Harry, you want that? You like pens, don't you? There you go. Alright, let's see. Where's my unicorn? Right there. There's your unicorn. It's hanging on my wall. Alright, let's see. Fat Elvis, greetings there. Spotty Sylvia, hello. Okay, Moshi. Give me a new daily driver. I don't know. I'm going to do Solus GNOME next when I feel like getting it installed or whatever else. So that's what I'm going to do next. Oops, and Fat Elvis is talking about Gen 2, so there you go. And let's see, what else? Hey, get off my desk. Make a little slideshow of the PC later. Cool. All right. Ajit Pai is at it again. Oh yeah, they are gutting a whole lot of stuff. So on our news today, we're going to cover a couple of fun little updates, and then we're going to look at FCC gutting American internet. And then we have a couple fun security, and we have a couple of fun business, and I found one LOL. That is right. We are going to LOL it all the way home. So let's see. We are going to go ahead and start out with our updates. So I'm also working on some new slide formats and things for the live shows. Give me some thoughts and inputs. I was hoping to have some stuff done today, but yeah, I just had too many other things going on, so I didn't get to it. But anyway, we are going to go ahead and start out with our updates. This is a fun update. Amazon Key's only been out for about a little over a week now, and already some guys found a lot of fun ways that you could hack this thing. There's actually 2 kind of known about. Basically, the way this system appears to be working is the camera gets a Wi-Fi connection, and that passes it with another short-term frequency over to the lock. And what you can do is something you could literally do to interrupt any Wi-Fi device, not just this, but it's very susceptible. You can get close to this thing with a computer you build on a little Raspberry Pi and have a just a wireless chip, and you can actually disconnect the camera from the door. And so what would happen is the guy comes in, opens up the door, and then pings this code, and then all the person would see watching the camera is the door remaining closed. Now, once that occurs, the lock stops working. And so literally a hacker could wait around the corner waiting for one of these Amazon pickup guys, and he could, right when the door is about to close, he could trigger the thing and cause the lock to not close and the camera to turn off simultaneously. Now, the danger with that is that the delivery person should get a notification the door isn't locked, but how many of these guys are actually going to be like super hardcore secure about their situation, you know? Likely they're going to be underpaid delivery guys looking to just get their job done so they can go home at night. And so what could happen is somebody could interrupt the signal and basically break right into your house, and the lock's not working and the camera's not working simultaneously. Woohoo! Yay to go, Amazon. They said we are going to be fixing this week. Haven't heard if they fixed it yet, but basically 2 different ways that somebody could get in here, including your security guy. He could trigger your delivery guy, rather. He could trigger the situation right about the time that he locks turns the camera off, so basically destroying any evidence that could be him, and then he could be like, oh, I don't know, I thought the door locked, I don't know, blah, 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 and there's no video evidence of him robbing your house, letting your Xbox out, stealing your Xbox and letting your cat out. Right, kitty? So, Amazon key is a bad idea, people. So, you get that going. Of course, this is a fun one. Oh, by the way, I'm using Firefox Quantum on the news today, so I just wanted to give this a little bit more try here. All right, this is neat. This seems to be like, I don't know what happened. I think some laughing gas or whatever is going through the FCC because they actually passed a rule that makes sense. I'm not quite sure how they managed to get a rule that makes sense, but they did manage to get a rule that seems to make a little bit of sense. So they adopt a rule to allow phone companies to proactively block illegal robocalls. Now, I'm still an advocate of saying, let's just completely get rid of the ability to do any degree of spoofed calling. That's going to get rid of everything. It's like, yes, I realize there's like 3 legitimate uses of a spoofed call in the history of the universe, and they're probably all high abuse areas anyway, so let's just block the ability of these robocallers to use false numbers, and that will probably solve most of the challenges. But anyway, a phone company can now opt to do this. They say this is not an extra regulation. Nobody's forced to do anything. They have to tread lightly lest they step on anybody's toes here. But what's going on here is they're allowing the phone companies now to have systems to block these illegal robocalls, but of course they had to get another thing in here to make slightly bits and more cash. And so the phone companies are allowed to charge for the extra service. So now your phone companies might start rolling out, now for an extra $5.99 a month, you can go ahead and block all these illegal robocall scammers. Well, America, you tried. You tried. At least you didn't make things super bad. I mean, it's the worst case scenario. It stays about the way it is. And but anyway, that's that. And this one here, I kind of wanted to fit this one in because this is just so bad. So there's this new tax reform, of course, that was passed, and it didn't take very long to notice some things in here that's like, okay, this is very detrimental. And I'm going to speak to this, and the real reason I wanted to bring this up, although this doesn't follow my general thing of tech and privacy, I wanted to bring this up because this is a situation that if it were passed 20 years ago, would have applied to me. And this is dangerous. And I want to outline what I think would be a stimulus program that would actually help this country. So back when I was in college, Mr. Clinton was still in presidency, and Mr. Clinton, I mean, if you are unaware of some of the good things that he did, one of the good things he did is he is the only president in modern era to actually balance the budget once. He's it. He's the only guy that actually had a balanced budget. And not his whole term, just, a period of time. The other thing, though, that he did, and a lot of people don't realize or remember, is one of the things that he did to seriously help students is he got rid of Social Security tax for a full-time student. I think he had to be full-time student. I don't forget. I'm fuzzy on the exact details. But at that time, for me as a student going from high school into college, what happened is when I was busting my hiney working in college to pay cash for college, I was exempt from Social Security tax at that time. And anybody going to school was exempt from Social Security tax because, of course, it was based on a logical reality that the statistics, and I disagree with these statistics, by the way, but the statistics showed that people who go to college generally make more income than people who don't. Why do I disagree with those? Because we have these things called black swans. The people who don't go to college are your Zuckerbergs, and your 30-year-old living on their mother's basement couch potatoes clumped into the same group. Okay, but Zuckerberg, he went to college, but he didn't graduate college. And the statistics just look at that. It ignores the black swans of people who actually try. But my point is, getting back on track, is when this rule came out, college students, they said, if we do not collect Social Security tax to lighten the ability of students to get through college without excessive amounts of debt, and by the way, the student loan debt, like now it's like 6 to 8% or something. Back then it was 2% student loans. And you didn't strap the students with that much debt. You eliminated that for the duration of time they were in school. That seriously helped us have less debt, give us a greater jump start, have higher paying jobs, and therefore pay more tax down the road. And that was a good thing. So I graduated college, and then I was actually invited to attend my graduate work, and I have my PhD was a free ride. So my PhD was completely paid for by the university. I got the tuition break. I got an extra $1,000 stipend. So here is what happens. Now on that, I think by that point in time, I was paying tax on the stipend, but nothing else. Now, this kind of is basically they're changing this ruling so it's very much like the current short sale rules work, which makes no sense to me. A person is losing everything, so they lose their house, they short sale the house. The person is liable for the difference in the short sale and the amount on the loan as income on your taxes. So the period of time when I had to lose a house because the whole job economy tanked and everything went down, I was in the middle of losing absolutely everything. All of a sudden, I have to pay taxes as if I just made $95,000 when I have nothing. Okay, and I'm still have debt about this, you know, because of fighting with that. And that is a challenge. That is a major challenge. What this plan in this tax law that was just passed does, this absolutely horrendously destroys the people going to school for this stuff. So what's happening is when you get a break on your tuition because you are identified by these colleges as a potential very gifted scientist, you go in and they get a tax break. And if that tax break on your tuition is, you know, tuition keeps going, suppose it's $25,000 a year, you have to pay taxes on that $25,000. It's the same exact tax you'd pay if you short sell a house. So whatever gift was given to you of that $25,000 for tuition waiver gets added to your income for your tax purposes. And that means that these college students who, if you get a $25 waiver, and then you get an extra, let's see, I think mine was like 1,000, was it 1,000, let's say 1,500 a month. So for let's just say 12 months because of that. What's my calculator? 1,500 times 12 means that you'd get 18,000. And that actually sounds about right what I was paid. So I'd have this, plus of course I did one semester. Let's say one semester is 10,000. Let's say 1 year is 10,000. I think that's closer. So, and when I did this, one of the stipulations is I was not allowed to have another job. So I'd have no other income. So now I would be paying taxes on my $10,000, no, excuse me, my $18,000 annual income as if I were making $28,000 annual income without the ability to actually have a job. Now, if I multiply that 28, that does move you outside the upper tax bracket, which means I'm probably going to have, I'd say about $4,000 or $5,000 in taxes, and that is a serious hit, particularly if you live in one of these towns or these universities. You're already paying over more than 100% of your cost in rent. The average rent in this town, a 500 square foot studio in this town is close to $900 a month. You want something bigger, you're paying a whole lot more. And so this update to the tax plan is going to absolutely destroy any students and absolutely cripple them in debt, not just to credit cards and to student loans, but also debt to the IRS. And you will not overcome that debt to the IRS very easily. This is so destructive. Those idiots up there in Washington need exiled from the land so we can get some sanity into here. So here's my little plan. I'm not just going to complain about the world. Let me tell you my plan for what you really do. Well, not only do you go back and give these students the tax break on the Social Security while they are full-time students. I mean, there's exceptions, say after 6 years it goes away, say, whatever else. So you're not a full-time lifer student. I mean, there's people like that. You need to have an exception for those. But for your average person, you want to have an exemption so they don't have to pay Social Security tax and give them further tax breaks for going to school and increase that to a small startup business. And the reason is small startup businesses still provide the majority of jobs in America, and the jobs a small business has are generally way better than the jobs a corporation has. So give them also a tax break on those, because here's the challenges you run into with me having a small business. Not only do I have to pay the regular tax, I have to pay more tax. And all I'm trying to do is sustain myself in a sustainable way. But I have to pay more tax than a regular employee does, because I have to cover the employee portion of your FICA tax, which is basically your Social Security tax. And so I have to pay twice as much in those types of forms as a small business owner. And those serious things hurt you. Now, if I got just a 5-year break from that, that would seriously increase my ability to invest into my business, to possibly bring on more people, to launch on the economy, and to actually cause some sanity in this. But this here, taxing people on a tuition waiver, is absolute death to every student that wants to go through this type of thing. This is insanity on a stick, and the idiots that came up with this need beat with wet noodles, okay? I mean, that's crazy. This is crazy, crazy, crazy. So those are our updates. Go back to comments for a little bit. Let's see. Ajit Pai is the enemy of digital freedom. Yes, he is. The end of net neutrality. Oh, not just the end of net neutrality. We're going to cover a few different things the FCC is doing. Greetings, James Miller. How are you, sir? According to old KDE Neon description, KDE Neon isn't a distro at all. Yes, that is correct. But 123 movies won't be working soon. Now that Ajit's doing crap. Yep, probably not. Top 5 artwork, which is tribute to David Letterman. Top 10 list. Okay. Greetings, iFoid Process. How are you? I just pick up my Amazon package from UPS Center. Yeah, I'm gonna set a USB center. Woo! You're too much of a computer geek. Okay, it is getting ridiculous how far companies go to collect data. Never trust Amazon. It is sad how dependent we are. Yep. Is everyone on Firefox Quantum? I miss my plugins. See, I'm not a guy that actually uses plugins, so I couldn't give a flip, except I use Firebug, the old version of Firebug, for developer tools, because as a web developer, the thing that's built into Firefox is about as atrocious as a steamy pile of cow manure. And the old version, now the newer version of Firebug, reverts you just to using the Firefox built-in. Like, these are great tools. No, they're not. They're horrible tools. They are absolutely wretched. So I will not be upgrading any work computer to the latest Firefox. I will actually go out of my way to keep an older version on to keep that version of Firebug going. And I haven't tested yet if it's compatible or not. But the reality is I don't use things, so if that works, I'll upgrade all of my systems to Quantum. If it doesn't work, I won't. I mean, I don't use that on this computer and some of the other ones, so whatever. E-commerce is not necessarily a bad thing. There are many great things, but I can only buy. Yeah, and that's the thing. I use Amazon a lot. I mean, if you do use Amazon, you can check out the links below in this video, and I have Amazon affiliate links if you want to help support us. I use Amazon. I'm cautious with how I do it though. Since they put in their gift card thing, I've removed all of the credit debit cards from my account. I have no payment system stored on their servers. I do everything with cash through Amazon now. In fact, if it just goes in, and what you do... Oh, I'm throwing my phone around. It's okay, kitty. I did not mean to throw the phone at you. So basically, I simply have a picture of the barcode right on my phone. So I have a picture of the barcode up here, and then I just walk into any of the participating stores, go over, scan this guy in, give them cash. It goes right into my account, and right there in the store, I go in, push the sale button. So I pay everything I buy on Amazon is now paid with cash, no problems. So that's a cool thing. Of course, now I'm in a location where I can also ship things to the pickup location as well. So if I move again, I will not give Amazon my new address. I will just go to exclusively using that. But they already have my address, I'm going to go ahead and do that. So that's good, actually. Of course, the other thing I could do is just create a new Amazon account, never give them my real address, and basically remove the ability for Amazon to track me very well. Just create an email address exclusively for Amazon stuff. So you can now possibly use Amazon in conjunction with things like Tor, I think, causes Amazon to go crazy. But you could certainly do a computer with cubes or something and have a dedicated cube with it. And, use Amazon a little bit more privacy conscious. I'm not that bad, but it's possible. And that's the good thing. But I like to give the local businesses a shot. Like I just ordered a new network switch so I can upgrade my whole network to gigabit. Because none of my network was gigabit. I'm upgrading all my network into gigabit right now. And I went into the local store, see if I could get a gigabit switch. And I could if I wanted to pay twice as much for a machine that I ruled out online. So I just went with the one on Amazon. So, you meant the great green Amazon, right? Okay. Not necessarily the problem. Amazon is just corrupt along with the world. Yeah, most of the world's corrupt, so whatever. We have to deal with corruption, or we have to deal with corruption. May as well deal with corruption, right? If it's dealing with local corruption or dealing with far away corruption, let's deal with the far away corruption. They don't actually know exactly where I live. Safety police are back. Okay, I heard the other countries without net neutrality ISPs abuse lack of rules. Yep, they do indeed. There's an ISP in Portugal which charges for different packages that include necessities like email and possibly social media. Yeah, that's the thing, I mean, it's very easy for an ISP, if net neutrality goes away, for an ISP to go, oh, you want to be able to check email at home? Well, you got to pay extra for that port. If they simply block, I mean, all you need to do is block ports like 462, 25, 26, unless you have serious control over what ports your email are going through. They could wreak some havoc by blocking a lot of the internet ports. They really could on their end. And that's kind of scary. Greetings, Total OS today. Making America bankrupt again. Yep. Just the people on the bottom. Who was it that said, America is like a melting pot. The people at the bottom get burnt and the scum float up to the top. Okay, I need to find my way to avoid student loans and IRS debt. Well, I mean, yeah, first thing is, go to college only if it fits in a necessity with your plan. Figure out what you want to do and determine if college is actually required. Because I got news for you, despite having a PhD, I don't have a single degree and really not even a single class in anything I do to make money right now. As of last summer, when my last contract for anything scientific expired, I have not done anything with any of my education at all. I self-taught myself. And as a web designer, I think I've only had one person ever ask for what degrees did I have. Everyone else says, what works have you done in the past? And that's the thing. So depending on what you want to do and how you want to do it, that's the thing to keep in mind. But if you are going to school, there's a book out there, I forget the author, but it's called Debt Free You, where the guy talks about how to do scholarships and just find a whole lot of scholarships and things like that. And then just avoid the IRS debt by paying your taxes on time, etc., etc. Oh, I'm going to graduate in 2 years and I need to secure my future. Well, start thinking about stuff now. Get a job early, save up, and in school tuition. Start at a community college if you can. Get rid of all your core because those are usually much cheaper. If you're not opposed to it, you could try going into the military, get GI Bill. And there's a lot of things you can do to keep your cost of college low. The fundamental things is, look at community colleges instead of full universities, avoid your private institutions, look for state schools, and don't go out of state. I mean, those are your core things to keep your costs a little bit lower. But tuition is going up. In fact, this is so bad because the kid I mentor is in the same boat right now where he's looking into all these, colleges and things like that. And the thing is, when I was in college, I could work 60 hours a week for the summer and 30 hours a week during the school semester and pay for college with cash. Okay, at that time, that was like 20 years ago, I think I was making like $8.50, $9 an hour, which was actually really good pay back then. And college tuition, 4 years, only cost me $35,000. Well, nowadays, the cost of college has more than doubled, and the basic wages for an unskilled laborer having a basic Joe job has gone up 10% from that period of time. So the wages a person can reasonably get goes up 10% and the tuition's more than double. Why is this? Because the banks and the people giving the loans and the schools and the apartment complexes and everything else, that has nothing to do with the apartments either, all of those guys realize everyone is indoctrinated that you're going straight to college, and whatever it costs to get through is what it costs to get through, and you have complete guaranteed loans until you do. It's a recipe for disaster. That's what it is. And as a former college professor and somebody with a lot of experience, not everybody needs to go to college, okay? It is a great and wonderful and awesome thing if it fits your plan, but it doesn't necessarily fit your plan. Just because you are breathing and have a pulse does not mean you have to go to college. You could also go to trade school, and oftentimes you get better jobs faster with a lot less debt. You could learn on your own, My father is a very wealthy businessman. He says if he could do it all over again, the business he'd go into is landscaping. Cheapest to get started and some of the best margins in the business. That's what he says. But anyway, that's the thing. Not surprised by the tax mess. Republicans are only interested in giving corporate fat cats tax breaks and screwing over the education system. Every time Repubs do power, they do this. Yeah, but Democrats don't really make it any better. I think that the whole Bill Clinton thing was a fluke because they were both screwed up. I mean, Obama did the worst thing for taxes I've seen in my lifetime. So we can't say Republicans and Democrats. We have to stop addressing it in terms of two parties because that's what people want to say. We need to talk about getting intelligence in Washington. We need to not divide over lines. We need to look at what's best overall. Who are all these political parties passing all these laws, passing people over? Usually it's the lobbyists. That's why ban lobbyists and things like that would probably be the much better thing for us as well. Oh, I despise Democratic and Republican parties. Yep, I despise them both myself. Sucks that I have to deal with the consequences when I have to leave college. Yep. Agent's intelligence equals minus pi. Nice. Okay, definitely need to be very competitive in school to get scholarships I need. There you go. Well, you have your plan then. It seems competing in school is becoming more important than ever. Yep. I'd pay good money to see John Cena bust Ajit Pai's office and powerbomb him. All right. Okay. You look like the Borg with that mic. Yes. Actually, it's the Linux helpline. How may I help you today? Greetings, Colin. How are you? Honey, the mic though works really well. Yep. His other job's a telemarketer. I'm the one that's really scamming you all the time. All right, we're going to go ahead and stop there for comments so we can get back onto the articles. We are going to talk now about our feature story, and that is Ajit Pai ruining America. I should have put that Freddy Krueger thing right above my picture there, shouldn't I? That'd be kind of fun. All right, well, first thing they're doing, this is a whole series of things. The first thing they're doing is, sorry, poor folks, FCC's coming after your broadband plan. So basically, there is a plan, and I forget the name of that plan. It's probably in here somewhere. But there is a plan that allows lower-income people a subsidy, like a whopping $9.25 on a credit. I don't. Yeah, not nearly enough. But they allow this credit to use to buy internet or phone services. So what happens is there's a lot of fairly or maybe very low-quality ISPs out there that are kind of piggybacking off of the other networks, and you can use these credits on these types of plans, whatever else. Well, the first thing that they did is, well, none of these plans that maintain their own infrastructure can accept these credits anymore, which means what? Well, that just means that everyone got kicked off of the plans they've been using, and now your only options are Comcast, Time Warner, Charter, AT&T, and the big fat cats that have been running the FCC since Ajit Pai was put into place. So, of course, you still can have your $9.25 credit, but you have to apply that to one of these existing plans from these people that actually, in theory, maintain their networks. And we say in theory because we're going to see another article here that's coming down the road that's going to show how they no longer even have to maintain their networks. But regardless, they voted 3-2. You can guess that's probably 3 Republicans, 2 Democrats, is my guess, but I didn't look into it any further. Basically, the other thing they're doing is they are capping the amount of money that can be spent on this, which means that the same amount of people will qualify, but only like, I don't know what percentage, a certain percentage of them will lose the ability simply because the money is going to run out. And then, of course, there's an extra $25 credit for Native American lands and for pretty much Native American situations. But anybody who is inside of an urban area, they're losing the $25 extra. So if you lived in the urban area, you had the extra $25, that now is going away because the prices are so much lower in the urban areas because there's so much competition. I think these idiots from the FCC need to walk around and try and find internet plans. They each need to like move into 5 different places. Like they need to buy 10 or 15 little 1-month rental apartments, go around town and get all the internet plans and test them for themselves. Maybe then they'd realize, what do you mean? Wait. What? Charter, you're half a mile away from Comcast. Why can't you come here, Charter? You're half a mile away. There's competition. Guys, it's not competition if it doesn't come into my house. But anyway, so 70% of people have to find new providers because all of these plans that actually take this credit, they don't maintain their own networks, and so those guys are being excluded from being able to accept this market, and so we have challenges with that respect. And so here the $25 is being taken out on those. Then they're capping it. They're going to be capping it. And a lot of this stuff they're doing without any comment. This one here, they're going to ask public comment. I don't know why they're asking public comment. They got lots of public comments on net neutrality, and they decided to do what they wanted to do anyway. So, whatever. But anyway, that's kind of exciting. So, of course, you can expect net neutrality to kind of end in December. This is the time around December 14th is the estimated time. Nobody's said anything yet. Just looking at those eyes makes me want to, like, commit loathing and rage or something. Let me just... I gotta get rid of him. He's just too ugly to look at. Sorry. All right. And so they're basically, despite and this is funny because the study came out was funded by the ISP lobbies. They're like, we want to see how many people out there were really saying that. What came out is that if you removed all of the form and spam comments, 98.5% of the comments said leave the rules alone. So the absolute vastest majority of the world, or of the country, I should say, all want to keep net neutrality exactly as it is, except the ISPs, because this is so benefits the ISPs. So despite the whole country wanting to do this, Ajit Pai pretty much said, yeah, we're going to do it anyway. So it's estimated to be December 14th. So look for December 14th is to be the end, so we can roll right on into January, and we're just going to start... Our entire internet's going to start going to hell in a handbasket because we're pretty much going to lose any ability that we had to do any degree of control, you know. Hey, you want to watch YouTube? That's an extra $15 a month because that's pretty expensive. Oh, you want to do Hulu too? Well, not only do you have to pay Hulu $12 a month, you also have to pay us an extra $12 a month. People, that is what removing net neutrality does. It allows fast lanes for different services. And who's going to get the fast lanes? Well, it's all going to benefit the guys that already have the majority of the money. And frankly, it doesn't cost them an iota more. All they're doing is just screwing people over. Of course, in the middle of all of this, so not only are we going to lose the net neutrality in December, not only are we going to, the poor folks are going to be losing their subsidies and having to change the companies, probably paying a whole lot more for that service. Now the FCC is trying to get the further laws passed to say, oh, we know that when the net neutrality is done and the privacy things, other states are propping up trying to say, in our state, you have to respect people's privacy. Now they're trying to get more regulation done throughout the country to say, nope, we're doing away with that now as well. And so basically they're trying to get remove any states from being able to protect their own citizens' privacy by having national law to override those. Guys, this is really funny. The entire platform of all this is, we need to get rid of regulation. Don't worry, the ISPs will self-regulate themselves, but we got to get rid of this burdensome regulation. So what are we going to do? We're going to regulate states that they can't dictate the privacy for its citizens. Because it's very clear Washington's not listening to any human beings right now in their country. They're just doing whatever they want. The states degree, the smaller the government gets, the more it tends to listen. And the states now are trying to pass this kind of stuff. So FCC is trying to put an end to that now as well. So that's just so awesome and exciting. What's our last one? Fortunately, there might be some silver lining to these clouds in that a couple of folks are asking the Inspector General to investigate the FCC chairman. So basically they're saying, we really want you to look into this guy and see what his connections are. So let's see. Chairman Pai refused to answer whether his staff used personal accounts or messages to communicate with or about Sinclair, and their letter to Pallone and Cummings outlined series of actions taken by Chairman Pai that may have been intended to benefit Sinclair. So basically what's going on here is there is what was the rest of it? Let's see. Okay, so Sinclair is a big media company. So if you remember, was it last week or 2 weeks ago, we talked about Pai and the FCC getting rid of the rules that would basically, like, this is like the mini version from a few weeks back. What happened then is that they removed the rules so that a company could then own television and newspaper in one town. Prior to that, they couldn't. And the other one they did was, I think it had to do with not being forced to upgrade upgrade wireless services in rural areas. Basically, a whole lot of things. No. The other one is that you didn't have to have a presence in town in order to have a radio station there. So those two things both deeply benefited Sinclair, who already owns somewhere to the effect of, like, is it 40 or 70% of the media? And so these rules would make them basically the flat-out dominators of the market. And so they're trying to look into their communications with Sinclair. They wanted to ask about reinstating an outdated rule calling UHF discount, which is necessary for Sinclair to proceed with its acquisition of Tribune. Proposing to allow TV industry translation to a new digital standard, which could provide billions of dollars in licensing fees through patent holdings, and eliminating rules that would require local broadcast stations to maintain the physical presence in the market which it operates, and planning a vote later this month to significantly change the existing broadband media ownership limits. So basically they're saying, we want all communication that you have with these. They're like, we don't have any communication. And people are saying, no, there's been a lot of communication. And so that's kind of what's going on. So hopefully this comes back, and hopefully they find this idiot is about as corrupt as they can possibly be, and hopefully they just not only remove him from office, but remove him from office and plant him right in a jail cell for corruption of this country and for back-end dealings. Because this is just crazy. This is just crazy what the FCC is doing. They are so totally gutting the internet, the media, the challenge. Oh, there's another thing, and I don't have an article on it today, but the other thing that they're doing is they're getting rid of the testing protocols. So when a new when a media company or an ISP reaches out into a new area, there is a whole series of tests that they have to do first to determine if these are things that are capable of doing, like if the broadband provider, whatever, is there, and they are literally getting rid of the necessity of doing the test. They're saying the test is overburdensome. The test is there to make sure the infrastructure works. But they're saying as long as you got mobile out there, you're fine. As mobile is not a replacement, especially how capped these things are. And all it's doing is they're charging us more and more and more for less and less and less and less. This is getting crazy. Oh, boy. Now, what eulogy virtues are worthless. Seeing how competitive these things are all getting and winning is all that matters. Eulogy virtues. I am unaware of what eulogy virtues are. Someone please educate me. Greetings, Puget Rajal. How are you? True regarding which education to follow. That's right. It's easy to make it as a 3D artist if you just have good skills and good presentation of it. And then boom, auto freelancer, and a bit later, and you can easily get hired. The one I'm using now is Guru more often. Like if I need to, I don't always have time to do it. I've done freelancer.com, which is kind of a pain. I've never actually gotten any jobs over there, and I had one guy that contacted me, and he kept contacting me so many times. I told him, stop contacting me, I'm going to report you, because it's like he wanted to hire me for some project. I looked everything over. I'm like, I can do it for this, whatever rate. And he keeps on coming back and trying to counter with rates that were like boiling down to like $4 an hour. I said, dude, I'm not some third world developer. I'm a pretty high quality guy and a pretty top notch worker with numerous years of experience in this. I'm not doing that little. And so eventually he stopped contacting me, but it's like I've never seen anything from that site that seemed decent. Oh. Need to succeed in competitions to get scholarships. I'll ban Puklet if he keeps on spamming the thing with hellos, but it seems to have stopped. Screw it. If I have to break school rules, I will. Just don't be too public about that. Okay, I usually do my homework during lunch or nutrition, so I don't have time to deal with homework at home. I bet that your nutrition classes may not be teaching you much nutrition, but you know. Okay, in the tech industry, big money in college and universities are a waste. Community college and self-taught are just fine. I'm self-taught and have seen horrendous devs. That's the funny thing, is the town where I started my web design business, there was only one other competitor in town. She actually had a degree in this stuff, and her websites were vomited out of the 1990s. It was kind of funny. Want to be a software engineer. Okay, so then you ask the question, do you want to be a software engineer who's working at a corporate job, in which case you will probably need the degree, or do you want to start your own thing, in which case you don't? And so it probably wouldn't be a bad thing to get the degree if you can, because it would give you a starting point, because you don't want to jump into a small business too quickly without having the backbone to pay your bills. And that's really what you want. So in that case, being a software engineer, you might need to go to college, or it would definitely benefit you more than it wouldn't in that case, most likely. But spend a whole lot of time learning and studying programming and see what you can do in the couple years intervening between now and then. Who knows? I mean, you might move right into one of the big tech companies without having a degree. You just don't know. Look around at the market. So I use Linux Mint 18.2 on my ThinkPad and have Linux Mint 18.2 on my desktop and virtual machine. You think it'd be better to dual boot or keep using a virtual machine on my desktop? Tertium quid, third option. I would get a little USB drive and run it. That's actually how I run almost all the operating systems on this other computer that's behind me. They are all done on thumb drives. And they're getting so cheap, you can buy those for a few bucks, especially if you're in the United States. Black Friday's coming up. You can buy those thumb drives for like $0.25 a piece on Black Friday, most likely. Just make sure you're using USB 3 drives. Make sure they're at least 32 gigabytes. You can put any Linux distro on there for fun. Easy to raise prices when you're the only seller. Yes, it is. Find a way to compete and destroy my competitors. Yeah. Teacher told me my life is competition. It depends. I find that life is much better if you are competing with yourself. You'll have a whole lot better job than if you're competing with someone else. Because if you're competing with someone else, you don't always know what's under the iceberg. Okay, think of that iceberg. You get the little tiny bit sitting there, and then there's this whole bunch down below that you don't see. If you're all about competition, you're going to be an average American. You're going to be flat broke. You're going to be one paycheck from bankruptcy. You're going to have no money in the bank. You're going to have credit cards up the wazoo. You might have the fanciest car in your driveway or the nicest house and have the backyard pool, and you got the debt to show it. But we don't all show our debts. We don't show the ugly side. We don't show the skeletons in our closets. We just like to show the flashy stuff. Look what I got. That's the whole iPhone 10 crap is about. Look at how fancy I am. I have an iPhone 10. And life is a better competition if you compete with yourself. Always seek to better yourself. Don't seek to compete with other people, to a degree. There's some degree where you need to market yourself better than someone else. But in reality, if you have honesty, if you have integrity, you will make it a whole lot better than if you're looking for the quick buck. People compete just to survive. Greetings, Anarita. The rat race. You know, this is the funniest story about the rat race. If you're in the business circles, you would have seen the book out there that's called Who Moved My Cheese, right? So if you're unfamiliar with the book, it is a story about some mice that, some mice and some mini-humans were put in this maze, and the whole book was about the mice being trained to run through the maze to find the cheese, and the humans would run through the maze and find the cheese. And then one day, they moved the cheese. They took the cheese out of the one dead end, and they put it into the other, and the humans kept going back, and they kept going back, and they kept going back, and they complained about it. And the rats were smart enough they went back 2 or 3 times, realized that the cheese wasn't there, and they started scouring the maze to find the rest of the cheese. Okay, it's a cool business book to just kind of say, you gotta be flexible to move where the world moves to. You gotta focus on those. Well, the thing is I worked for the last college I worked for. They were trying to be trendy and business-like rather than being an academic institution, and they wanted to give exciting trendy business books, top-selling business books to their new hires to show how business trendy they were. They gave us the book Who Moved My Cheese, and that should have been my hint right there that that was the wrong place because the whole thing's about moving your opportunity. It's like, did these people read this book? Did they comprehend this book? But yes, life is a rat race as much as you keep it a rat race. But when you decide to step out and do your own thing, and that's why, despite having lower income now than I probably would have if I stayed being a college professor, because I looked at my numbers and, I started teaching. I first started my teaching post as a college professor 10 years ago this year. And if I had maintained that, I'd probably be making more money, but I'd be stuck in this rat race. Right now, I work from home on my own flexible schedule. When I need a day off, I take a day off. I don't have to ask anybody about it. And you build up clients, you build up a repertoire, and I'm not making as much money as I would as a college professor, but I enjoy my lifestyle a whole lot more, and my ends get met just as well, And so get out of that rat race. If you find yourself in a rat race, stop running, get out of the wheel, and do something else. In routine with the kitty and Tom. Where's my kitty? There we go. There's my kitty. Life is really a competition, like he says. Morals and nonsense, of virtues are nonsense, all morale is nonsense. That is correct. And that's why what we have is a corporatocracy, not capitalism. What we have can look like capitalism, but it's not capitalism, because capitalism has morality in it. Capitalism would never run over a human being to make a buck. It has morality. But corporatocracy runs over anything and everybody to make a buck, because it's all about making the buck. Ajit Pai has a punchable face. Okay. How can he think that no one is going to go ape crap about net neutrality? I don't know. I don't know. I think, the final things I really wanted to say about that without going back into it is he is gutting the entire world at the very time, at the very place when he ought not to be doing that. He is destroying the fundamental framework of how we as Americans live our lives. In fact, we're going on fire, because the internet is the fundamental part of who we are today. It is absolutely critical. We cannot get away from the stupid internet. As good as it is, as bad as it is, as stupid as it is, we cannot function as a society if the internet goes away. And what Ajit Pai has been doing in that office since that moron has been in office, he has been destroying competition, hurting the American people, eliminating any ability we had to have comprehensive plans, cheap plans, and now he's trying to remove the protections, the last bit of protections that we have to prevent ourselves from becoming absolute slaves to the immoral idiots that are running these ISP companies. We need to keep net neutrality where it is. We need to kick out the entire FCC. We as American peoples need to vote new people into there, because we are destroying the entire framework between how we have to live our lives. Because if I want to register my car now, I have to do it on the internet. If I want Social Security, I have to do it on the internet. If I want to interact with a government office, I have to do it on the internet. The internet is a fundamental part. I cannot do banking without paying extra money unless I do it on the internet. Everything we have is the internet. And all these idiots are trying to do is throw out policies that helps the people that are lining his own stupid pockets. That guy needs taken out of office. He needs thrown into Guantanamo Bay and torture the idiot for a while. Frankly, he is destroying America. Hope it wasn't unclear. Your life is sad. Whose life is sad? Okay, that's Bigfoot. Get ready for my wife and I. I'll make a permanent visit and become neighbors. Society sucks. Oh, it's just getting worse. Okay, we need to gather thousands and march to FCC wearing Guy Fawkes masks while giving them the finger. Probably. The lion does not concern himself with the opinions of the sheep. No, he doesn't, and that's the problem. Gave up on games a while ago. Blizzard sucks with their new online stuff. Yeah. Well, to be fair, I only play 5 hours a week. Yeah. If the government can find a way to control anything, it will. Yep. Hopefully it all works out for the good of the internet. Yeah, I'm not holding my breath. I'm not holding my breath. Fire, fire, fire. Ajit Pai is ruining the American internet. And the sad thing is, it's not going to stop with the American internet. Because once it happens in America, then a whole lot of other stuff's going to be coming down the pipeline. It's going to get worse for the rest of the world. This video will be demonetized because of your fire rant. My video is going to be demonetized anyway. In fact, I have a new theory about what's going on with demonetization. They are doing it. I have absolute reason to believe they're doing it specifically to save a few dollars, or not just to save a few dollars, but to filter the money into their golden boys of the left-wing liberal YouTube TV Fruit Loops, like, was it Jimmy Kimmel, whoever that idiot is? I don't know. They're making the pool of ads bigger for these other guys, and they're checking when we are flagging them, because what I've noticed lately is, since I flag every video as soon as I see it reach demonetized status, what they're doing now, it appears, is that all of the videos are coming back online, but they're not hitting that demonetized status until about after I log off of YouTube at night. And so I'm watching it up until 2 or 3 in the morning. It's still there. But whenever I wake up in the morning, every video I've had for the last couple weeks has been demonetized. And they're starting to demonetize them pretty much right after I turn off the computer. So it goes the longest period of time between when I see it and when I flag it. And I think that that's what they're doing now, because every video I've had, Soulless Gnome, that was demonetized. The Facebook one was demonetized from last week, but I never challenged it, and it's remonetized already. Tracking codes in your printers, that was demonetized. Simplify number 4, that was demonetized. Top 5 open source content creation applications, that was demonetized. Firefox Quantum on Linux Mint, that was demonetized. Every one I had was demonetized. Right now, the quick look at Shark Linux is currently sitting in demonetized status. So all of them will be demonetized. I'm not concerned about that. Fortunately, I have enough videos that demonetization isn't hurting me as much as it was, but at the same time, it's bad, because I mean, I probably lost $3 or $4 alone on the Firefox Quantum video. It's very possible I did. And of course, now we're at that point where people aren't watching it as much anymore. They're demonetizing them right at that peak when most people would watch it, and when I would flag it in the longest period of time. And so that's really, I think, what they're doing. I missed like a lot of the comments. Did I? Sorry if I missed a lot of comments. I didn't think I missed any, but I guess I might have. Sorry. If it is important, leave it again, and I'll jump on back to that. Do I have a security? I don't have a security one. Let's jump into the security news. So on the security front, the first thing is I wanted to bring your attention to this thing called Quad 9. This is interesting. The only kind of downside I see to the Quad 9 part is this will actually allow them to collect some data. They do say they collect like anonymized data. They won't sell it to anybody what they say. But what this basically is if you're having a trouble with your host file, you could try this method here as well. So what it does is it adds a DNS record into your network connections on your individual computer, and then it's going to route traffic through their servers, which will filter out spammy ads. I don't think they do, you know, bad stuff on the internet, but they'll get rid of all those malicious ads. It's a free service. So there's a video here. I think the Microsoft one is the closest that you would do to Linux. Let me see what. Let me see if I can figure this out. Hopefully without hurting anything. Yeah. So on Linux here. Let's jump back over here. So on Linux, you just go into your network settings, go over here, and additional DNS servers. You type in 9.9.9.9 here, save that, and then that will start rerouting traffic down through your through their system. And like I said, they're gonna collect some data about what you do, so be wary of that. But it is for a kind of non-techie guy. This is a very good way to block things. So if you have parents that are on the internet that aren't really particularly tech savvy, next time you're over there, go ahead and just add this to their system. I think that the benefit of this outweighs some of the security stuff. I mean, keep an eye on these guys, but it's a non-profit. It's, you know, not connected to a big company or anything. They're not selling the data. So I would trust this as far as to say, since I know computers, I choose to do things with the host file. But if you are dealing with like a parent or something, this would be a good thing to add to their network connections, because it is going to block a lot of the stuff that is causing malware and spam and things like that to get in there and cause problems. So check out Quad 9. See if that's something for you. But that's actually pretty cool. It's quad9.net is their URL. Also, we have a statement. If Quad 9 wasn't enough, this is exciting. If you wanted another good reason to run an ad blocker, even now the United States, the cybersecurity coordinator is actually, there's a letter to the cybersecurity coordinator from Ron Wyden saying, hey, I think what should be kind of a law, or at least highly recommended on any government system, to be running ad blockers. And the reason is because a lot of these ads are where a lot of this stuff is, you know, a lot of the malicious codes. Entire, like, I mean, encryption viruses, ransomware can be installed on your computer, not by you doing anything more but visiting a website that has an ad with that code injected into it. You know, and that's how the scammer, tech support scammer guys work. They just have an ad, you navigate to the site, the ad pops up, you don't have to do anything. It just pops up, loads on the computer, and goes, hey, guess what? You know, and, you know, call this number, you got a virus. And we're going to steal all your money and not do anything. If you visit our website again, you're still going to get this message. Ha ha ha, neener, neener, neener. Using an ad blocker is going to prevent a lot of that. And so that's something to consider here is they're even saying that they want all government systems to be running ad blockers because it's going to prevent the majority of these ransomware viruses hitting things. And that's kind of important to keep in mind, you know. Of course, it was the Russians. It was the Russians. It was the Russians. We know it. It was the Russians. Yeah, it was the Russians. So Kaspersky, yes, we did obtain NSA secrets. No, we didn't help steal them. Like, what? So basically, and this is if you wanted a fun example of why not to use an antivirus software. Basically, Kaspersky, like all internet, all of these antivirus software, when it detects some type of new virus that looks like a virus, but it may not be in their database, it will actually package up the file and send it to, you know, send it back home to the company. And what happened is somebody who probably didn't have any real reason to have NSA secrets was running a version of Kaspersky that had NSA secrets on it, and those NSA secrets got flagged as a virus and got sent to Kaspersky. So they said that they deleted them immediately, you know, and all that. Of course, I don't know if they process anything, but this is kind of scary. That realize that if there's a virus on your computer and you're running an antivirus software, it is very possible that your actual files are going to go back to the antivirus company. That's kind of scary. So keep that in mind. So yes, it was the hackers. Kaspersky did actually access NSA secrets. They didn't do it intentionally. It's just the functionality of how their system is supposed to work. Then of course they edited their code, so that doesn't happen again, of course, because why not? And yes, of course, it's definitely the Russians, because now the Fancy Bear Advanced Hacking Group researchers say is tied to the Russian government. Okay, can we leave the color commentary out of here? We just know who it is. But basically, here is it's yet another attack for Microsoft Word going through macros. So, I mean, basically, you just get your basic pop-up, and who doesn't click this button? For whatever reason, the spreadsheets that I have for my finances, when I open them in LibreOffice, they have a macro warning. I don't even recall putting macros in there, but I know I created that sheet from scratch, so I don't know, whatever. Has some formulas, but no macros. I'll have to look into it. Maybe some macros got snuck in there. I don't know. But anyway, who doesn't just whatever, Windows, whatever, because of course we get so many stupid prompts with Windows that are so annoying to us, we just click yes. And so this new hack, basically it bypasses antivirus by not actually having a virus in it. So it flags the file, and then when you run the macro, it says, oh, this document contains links that refer to other files. Do you want to update the document? So who doesn't go, no? I mean, who says no? I don't want to update the document, because, the thing won't work if you don't update the document. So you click yes, and then once you click yes, then it goes out to the external server and downloads the virus onto your computer. And so when you're seeing this type of prompt, don't click yes. But of course, that's the challenge, because how many things on your computer do you have to click yes to? And this is a direct dialog box in response to something you've been doing. So, yeah, Microsoft has once again is having more viruses attacking their system. So, there you go. That's exciting. Oh boy. YouTube hates Linux users. I think they hate anybody that's not part of their YouTube TV narrative. Example of how to be for amoral capitalists. I really hope VidMe takes off and becomes a more viable platform than YouTube. That would be fun. I'm on the naughty list. Yep, I am on the naughty list. I am on the naughty list. That is for sure. Alright, see you later, guys. YouTube is the only reason I still have a Google account. YouTube is the last element keeping me from de-Googling my life. Yep. I'm with you. Unfortunately, I still have accounts for like web design stuff because of how many people's analytics I'm constantly watching. So, host file is 4.4 megabytes and growing daily. That's a lot. Android phone has no Google account on it. I use F-Droid APKs for app installation. Yep, that's what I do. Mine doesn't even have any Google anything. I took the regular Android off and put Lineage on it and did not put any Google apps on it. Is there an alternate YouTube universe? Not that I found, but if I find the wormhole, I'll let you know. No track is at least good, but you have to be able to install it yourself. VidMe is an alternative, but it's not as big as YouTube, but VidMe has a better UI. Kaspersky made the Tuxnet virus. This companies have way too much power. Oh boy, let's do a couple of little businessy things. Alright, so this is neat. Google Fiber expanded into yet another city, San Antonio. Now San Antonio can get gigabit for just $55 a month. Why is it San Antonio gets internet that's 10 times better than mine for about half the price as mine? Oh, that's why. Because we have a monopoly and a corporatocracy and an oligarchy. Guys, we need... Okay, like, I'm not necessarily a huge advocate of Google, but, man, we need to help Google get into every city, because then we'll have some serious competition. Because Comcast may be able to control, the FCC and the government, but they may not be able to control Google. Google just might very well be slightly scarier. I just don't know. But as long as they keep on putting in gigabit internet in American cities for $55 per month, I am all over that. That to me is a good deal. And we need a lot more of these types of things. And you know why this happened? Because it's a little thing called competition. And then you know what's going to happen now? Comcast is going to not only lower their prices, but raise their services. They're going to go off crying to Ajit Pai. Google keeps coming in and stealing all of our business. And I had to not order my second yacht. And I left the swimming pool off my third yacht. It does not cost us much money to do these things. These guys are raping the American people, charging way more than they have to, simply because they have a monopoly and they can. There is absolutely no competition. There is no competition at all. I have one choice if I want to be able to do anything on the internet. One. It doesn't matter if Charter is half a mile away. They don't pipe into this house. That's what we need to change. That's what we need to change. So anyway, Google Fiber now has gigabit in San Antonio for $55 a month. I'm jelly. This is scary. This is scary. iPhone, it's not enough that they put a Connect on the front of the iPhone 10. Next year, they want to put the same thing on the back of the iPhone 10. So we're all walking around like idiots with Pokemon Go. Well, maybe it'll detect the cliff that's ahead of you. Where's my hat? Because I'm just thinking with this kind of stuff, all they're doing now, it seems like, is they're just now going to be doing mapping other people's faces. It's like, sir, we're not getting enough people's faces. A lot of people aren't buying into our crappy Face ID. I got it. We'll do this, and then we'll push out Pokemon Go and other augmented reality films so people will walk around like this and we'll be scanning everyone's faces all at once. Minority Report, here we come. So, yeah, that's what Apple's up to now. They're targeting the rear-facing 3D sensors for their phones next year. I wonder if I should just start wearing a mask in public. That would be fun. Oh, this is fun, too. Another Apple one. I should have just done an entire thing on Apple. So with Apple here, one of the things that they're doing here with Apple, their latest iOS release gave some clarifications about these. Because when you go onto your up onto your control manager, your control center in iOS now, you don't, it doesn't actually turn these off. It just disconnects it until tomorrow morning. People are like, well, why did you do that? And then there's like 3 or 4 people. Now, the reason they're doing this is if you're using the Apple handoff and other features like that, then then even those will stop working if you turn these off, because you have to have both Bluetooth and Wi-Fi on to use these Apple features. And some people are like, we don't want to do that. So the best solution, as some people said, is have another option in place whereby you you have an on and off and a disconnect button. So basically like a 3-way toggle is what people are saying you need. Because for me, I use these options to turn these things off. And that's what most people want. Now, I think there's a little bit more nebulous-y type stuff. For people like me, my iPhone will not even give me any prompts to update because I've blocked Apple's servers, so it cannot check home. And the thing is that if you charge your phone overnight and you're on Wi-Fi, then it will check for an update. And so by doing this, it will check for updates, because one of the ways around checking for updates with older versions of iOS is to, whenever you are charging your phone, is you turn off Wi-Fi, because it will only check for an update if it is plugged in, charging, and connected to Wi-Fi. And so a lot of people want to turn off Wi-Fi so it won't connect and check home. And I mean, I've just blocked those servers on the router level, so that's the case there. But it is so confusing for people. They actually put in prompt boxes, and I'm hoping these don't show up every single time, but they're literally showing in pop-up boxes to indicate how things work, because people weren't getting it and getting mad that the thing was automatically turned back on, even though it probably shouldn't have been. So That's kind of fun. That's exciting. So yay Apple. They're just getting worse and worse with every incarnation. Oh boy. Yep. Kitty, 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 kitty. Right. All right. They say that China has the best supercomputers. Greetings, political monkey. How are you, sir? Or ma'am, whoever you happen to be. Ontario College strike is crazy right now. Going back to school soon, though. Art of Music. I did not know they were striking in college. What are they striking about? Jan Lopez. I want some Google Fiber. So do I. China had the fastest supercomputer, but not anymore. D-Wave has the world's only quantum computer that's literally millions of times faster than China's supercomputer. That's cool. Where are you going, cat? No, you're not allowed on my desk. No. Here, you can put your paws right here. There you go. Okay, I need some Google Fiber in my diet. Nice. Face ID. Sudo apt purge Apple. Yep. All right, are we ready for our LOL article of the day? Kitty, are you ready to LOL? Just say yes, Kitty. Kitty's ready to LOL. You're ready to LOL, huh? All right, our LOL article of the day. This is just sweet revenge for all of us. We're just laughing hysterically. Google flagged its own Chromebook ad as spam. Woo! I wonder if it was demonetized. So, for whatever reason, this video has been removed for violating YouTube's policy on spam, deceptive practices, and scams. Maybe this will start getting them to realize things are really broken, but I'm not exactly holding my breath. So, pretty much, they released this ad, this video, goes on YouTube, promoting the Chromebooks, or feeding it in by ads, and yep, new Chromebooks are here. If you're over the old way of doing things, you're Chromebook. So you just click on this to play your ad, and it's blocked. Yeah, that was kind of funny. That was good. So anyway, LOL. This kind of reminds me, this isn't the first time this happened. Way back when people were trying to play on the SEO bandwagon and things with getting your websites higher listed on Google. Google accidentally, I think it was their Google Chrome. I think their Google Chrome ad got flagged as SEO spam, and they took it off of Google entirely. Whoops, accidentally. But yeah, that's kind of funny. We call this YouTubers' revenge. Maybe if they do that more often, then we need to get Susan's channel demonetized, and then maybe they might do something about it. Kyrie Holmes, greetings. Let's see. Got a whole slew of things. Money, hours. They're still bickering about academic freedom, and it's 32 days of the strike for us. However, Premier and Kathleen Wayne. Yeah, we almost had a strike when I was in college, and the students kind of put an end to it by going, "You whiny idiots, get back in your classrooms because we are paying to be here, and we have debts to pay off, and we have to finish school." And fortunately, they never did strike, but that's the case. Kyrie Holmes. Yeah, we're just wrapping things up over here, but welcome. Is it an easy thing to ping a satellite? I think that'd be cheaper to send my own satellite up into space and access the internet that way. Probably. Will you be getting a piece of coal from YouTube this year? Probably. I don't know. I must be one of them crazy. I don't know if they know where to pigeonhole me because, dude, we don't know what to do about this guy. He makes fun of Trump and Clinton. What? Greetings, Interceptor. We are actually just wrapping the news up. In fact, we've wrapped up the news and we've wrapped up the comments. Ooh, Political Monkey, thank you. Got a first super chat ever. Thank you, Political Monkey. Thank you, man. I will. So a couple little fun little things on the news is today I crossed 5,000 awesome subs. That is totally cool. Thank you all for that. I'm thinking that tomorrow I'll either do tinfoil hat time or I'll just do like a thank you video. I don't know what I'll do tomorrow. Give me some ideas. Give me some ideas. Is Mars ready for humans because the Earth sucks? Probably. Kitty, are you ready to go to Mars? Kitty is about ready to go to Mars. All right. So we're going to go ahead and jump off of this one tonight. We will see you guys tomorrow, 9 o'clock p.m. for a live stream of some form or another. If I come up with an awesome little tinfoil hat time, we'll do that. Otherwise, we'll do a maybe we'll do like a year and switch to Linux. Go back, make fun of some fun things. Maybe show some cat videos. I don't know. We'll come up with something to do. Cool. Let's see. Bet YouTube will monetize that piece of coal and not send it out. Probably. Guess I'll just check the rerun. Yep. You've been here since 700. Really, Tech Besimo? That's cool. Alright. Is it true Leon Panchetta sacrificed chickens to Moloch? I don't know. But I thought Moloch only accepted baby human sacrifices. I don't know. Alright, folks. We're going to go ahead and end this by feeding the kitty. Get off my desk. You're not allowed on my desk. What are you doing up there? We're going to go ahead and end this with kitty treats. But you guys stay off my desk. You got to stay off my desk, kitty. Whoa. Not right here. There you go. He's like, I want into them temptations. Right there, buddy. Oh, did you get it? Oh, right there. And one last one for you. One last one for you. We're going to put it right here so people can watch you get to it. There you go. Yeah, you're a good kitty, aren't you? You a happy kitty? You a happy kitty? He is a happy kitty.